Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crafty Beer Reviews. As you can see to my right, I have a very special guest. He's known by a couple of names here on YouTube. Just one?
Just average show.
Just average show?
I don't know the other one is.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
You sure? There's not another one?
No.
There might be another one.
No.
There's Joe, but then there's also...
No.
It's average what?
Average awesomeness?
Average... well...
Generous Joe? I don't like what...
Generous Joe, yes.
Yeah.
Average something else.
Average Dilby?
No.
Hi, babe.
And we haven't even drank anything yet, ladies and
yet.
gentlemen. But yeah, you guys might know Joe because he is on quite a few beer channels, even though he doesn't have his own.
Yeah.
But if you guys would comment down below, maybe that can change his mind.
Probably not.
But maybe it could. But yeah, he's been on some recent reviews with Paul from PA Brew News. Shout out to you, buddy.
And they were all terrible.
They're pretty cool. You were on the you're with the albino rhino quite frequently, Chad as well. So shout out to you. But yeah, we're gonna be drinking some beers tonight. The first one is from Wicked Weed, a local brewery for me since I am originally from North Carolina. And this is actually the first beer they were put into bottles. This is the Black Angel. It is a black sour. They then threw it into bourbon barrels with tart cherries. And this was aged for about 5 to 12 months on the average before it was blended back into some fresh beer. So cool stuff. This is a 2014 vintage. It's got a couple of months on it. I know you've never had anything from
No,
it.
I just like how you said like 5 to 12 months. Like somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between
Don't
there.
really know.
Nobody knows, but that's roughly what it is. But yeah, so we're going to be trying this. Disclaimer, I have had this on tap before, but this will be my first time
Review
trying
completely
it.
nullified. Done.
Exactly.
Turn it off.
But this will be his first, so that's
Yeah.
got to count for something, right? But yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. Now I kind of smelled it beforehand. I mean, we popped it open, and it was like it doesn't say red wine barrels, but definitely red wine barrels.
It does,
even though it's not.
Exactly, because, I get more... I don't get a ton of bourbon. I get a lot of oak, though. Definitely the oak, and I think the way that the tart cherries mix with that oak, it does... It's really reminiscent of, maybe a Cabernet barrel or something like that, almost. It definitely smells kind of like red wine.
Slight funkiness, nothing
Yeah,
too...
a little bit. It's not over the top, though. It's kind of a milder type of funk. It's nothing like...
Definitely get
crazy.
the cherries. I mean, you definitely pick up on them of the tart variety, but...
Definitely.
But if I went into this totally blind, I couldn't tell you exactly they were tart cherries. I would say some kind of just tart fruit or tart
like
berry.
a red fruit, maybe. Not necessarily cherry. Yeah, I agree.
I would say more red wine barrels if it was blind. That's the first thing.
Yeah, definitely. I do get a little bit of vanilla though from the oak too. I think it's a little bit more subtle, but it's definitely in there.
Yeah, I'm not picking up the vanilla, but I'm definitely getting the oak for sure. Almost
smells kind of earthy too.
Almost like a tannic quality in the nose.
Yeah, definitely, but definitely.
It smells awesome.
Yeah, the cherries are definitely the big thing here.
Yeah.
You want to take our first sip, man?
Let's get it.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yep, that's cherry, all right. Wow.
Initial thoughts, sweeter than I thought.
Yeah,
it's not sweet, but
right, but it's
not as tart as I would have imagined it being.
Yeah, it's not overly tart. I mean, even for the tart cherries, I mean, it's definitely a little bit on the sweeter side. What I kind of like is that I think it starts up front with that bigger tart, slightly sour note, and then as it sits on your palate, it gets a little bit sweeter, a little bit smoother as it sits there.
And then the cherry comes out, the actual flavor of the cherry, not the tartness, finishes with this nice oaky vanilla mixed with the cherry itself.
Yeah,
and the finish is really nice.
Yeah, I know. It almost kind of tastes like cherry pie a little bit, because just with because that little bit of vanilla on the back end with the cherry, and it's this really just ripe, fresh cherries. It's a little bitter, a little sweet, a little tart. It basically tastes like the exact fruit.
It has great balance to it. That's what I would say. Doesn't lean in any direction. It's not sweeter than you typically would expect. It's not sour.
No.
To be clear, it is definitely it's a slight tartness. It's not even super tart. It's just a slight tartness.
Yeah,
but I think the barrel qualities though, for me, are more in the flavor than the aroma.
Yeah,
on the back end, I'm getting them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because up front, it's more of, I think, the malt character, that kind of earthy funkiness, just a touch. and then it's definitely the fruit up front, but as it lingers, like you said, you get a little bit more with the barrel.
Yeah.
It's definitely nuanced. The one thing I will say, though, I'm really not picking up on any bourbon, honestly. Are you? I just don't really taste and I don't smell it.
Like I said, on the back end, like I get a little bit of vanilla and oak that mixes in with the cherries.
Yeah.
But
in terms of like actual bourbon, yeah.
Like no, there's no like, oh man, that's bourbon barrel aged. Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's like I said, it's well blended. It has a nice balance. There's no one character that is dominating.
Yeah.
There's no predominant note to this entire beer.
Agreed.
There's a very good balance, and that's nice. I like that it's blended well like that.
Yeah, it is really blended well. I also get, after a couple of sips, I get a little bit of caramel in there too. Like it's soft,
yes.
but it's like kind of a soft caramel, which I really like.
The first sip, I actually picked that up like right away when you're talking right up front, like the malt sweetness with the tart cherry, or the tart cherry into the malt sweetness. That was all caramel.
Yeah, it's nice though. And in terms of a body, it's basically medium bodied. It finishes decently dry, but it's not over the top dry because a lot of sours, I mean, it can be like you have one sip and you need like a glass of water, I think, right after the fact. And
it's not. Yeah, it doesn't finish. Like it's not like no saliva left. Like it's slightly dry.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit dry. I would, in terms of sours, I actually think this is a little bit of an easier one for, I hate to say novices, but beginners. I think if you've been interested in sours and you want a little bit more of an easier one, I think, to ease your palate into, I think this is a better one because in terms of sours, it's more tart. It's not like mouth puckering, dry you out, kind of palate wrecking.
Now you have the other one, which is the we might review it, but it's a Flanders, and this kind of reminds me of a Flanders where you get a lot of the Flanders Reds or the Oud Bruins where they do have that sweeter, not as dry quality to it.
Definitely.
But this is not it.
No.
But it has similar characteristics,
It
which
does.
is kind of throwing me off because I don't know. I expected it to be a lot more tart, maybe even borderline sour, and it's not. But that doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
It's actually really damn good.
And it makes for a really easy drinking beer too. Like I think it makes it for a lot easier drinking because some of these styles, especially just after a couple of sips, I think sometimes your palate experiences fatigue. And not with this. I mean, it's really, really well balanced. And that's particularly what I like about a lot of Wicked Weed beers is they're expert at putting in a lot of nuances into their beer. It may not always hit you in the face with, like one particular note, but you get all these different notes in there that I think just really complement each other.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, balance is the key in this one.
Definitely.
I'm not disappointed at all in the first Wicked Weed beer I had.
I'm glad you finally got to try one because they make some kick-ass stuff.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, in terms of rating, Joe, what were you thinking?
Well, I know you do yours out of 10, so I'm trying to think about like how a comparison to what I would do like out of 5. I'm not just gonna do half, but I would say I really like it a lot. Probably 9.1.
Okay, 9.1. Yeah, it's really, really good. Like I said, I have had this on tap a couple of times, and in terms of on tap versus the actual bottle, I think that on tap the barrel notes are a touch more noticeable, even though they are really noticeable, especially in the back end. But yeah, this is drinking great out of the bottle. I think it's only had a couple months, so it's still a pretty young beer, especially in terms of sours. As far as rating for me, I'm going with 9 out of 10, pretty much right there with you. I think balanced drinkability, it's just very nuanced. It's not overly complex, and I'm sure a lot of people have had stuff like this.
What is the ABV again?
I think it's 6.6, I believe.
This is 6.6, right?
Yeah, 6.6. Okay. Which I think it does a nice job of masking the alcohol. I mean,
I forgot the other one was bigger, but
yeah.
Like, the scary thing about this is it's crazy drinkable.
It is.
I'm almost done with it.
And a lot of sours are more in the 4% range, 4 or 5, and the fact that this is almost 2% higher than the average for a lot, it is kind of strong for the style, honestly. So, but it's still really, really drinkable. So,
yep. Well, thank you.
Cool stuff. Absolutely. Joe, thank you for joining me.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. All right, guys, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to ask him about his channel. And remember,
don't do any of that. Like all of it. Do not do any of it. You don't need to subscribe or comment or anything. Johnny knows he's awesome.
Do all of it, please. All right, guys, that does for this beer review. And remember, I hope whatever you're doing involves good craft beer. See ya.